All right, we got the censorship of Reboot was bizarre from Pop Culture Chronicles. Let me see.
Reboot, it was more than just a cartoon. It was a technological breakthrough. The first fully computer animated TV series of the 90s, it broke ground with its multi-million dollar budget and set
Bro, when I saw Reboot when I was a little kid, I was super psyched whenever this show came on. When did it start? Did it start like Saturday morning cartoons on like Kids WB or was it on Cartoon Network? I'm not sure. Was it on Toonami? Um, Geez, I don't really remember, but I just remember this was the coolest thing because it was all CGI, like all computer graphics, and I was like, oh, this is the future of gaming, or not gaming, of TV shows. This is so cool.
the standard for computer generated shows in the years to come. But behind
Oh yeah, because I remember watching Beast Wars. Beast Wars was goated. I never saw vampires transform. Uncool fuel. What the fuck? And then Hanna Barbera presents Johnny Quest. I don't remember watching Johnny Quest. I know of it, but I don't think I ever saw this one. I do distinctly remember Beast Wars though. Beast Wars was so good.
behind the scenes, the show was almost derailed by some of the strangest censorship decisions ever seen on network TV. From
Really?
forcing animators to redesign a female character's anatomy into what would become infamously known as a monobreast, to an inexplicable ban on the word hockey in all episodes.
Hockey? Why?
And that's just the beginning. These censorship decisions didn't just alter scenes,
The mono breast? What, there can't be like an individual one with like just some skin tight clothes or whatever? Like no one's asking you to fucking animate the nipples on top. Just like if it's a kid show, just animate it as if it were just like a normal woman with like a skin tight shirt. Like it doesn't have to be like super tight like Hooters, like just like a regular like skin tight. Well, not regular skin tight, but like whatever this character looked like. Like Jesus.
they reshaped the entire show, which pushed creators to fight back in some of the sneakiest ways possible. Today, we'll
Oh,
be diving into the history of the animated series Reboot,
I
talking about
gotta
the
see
show's
this.
origins, its impact on the animation industry, and the wild censorship battles fought behind the scenes. In the early 1990s, animated television was still heavily reliant on traditional hand drawn.
I always love to see shit that goes behind the scenes because for a gamer, this is my Desperate Housewives of wherever. This is my Desperate Housewives. That's what I like to see.
Techniques. While some shows like Tailspin began to experiment with blending 3D animation into their hand drawn
Yep, I remember Tailspin. I didn't even know that they had like 3D shit in there.
sequences, these early attempts were often plagued with errors that required frequent reworks. Ian
Really?
Pearson, co-creator of Reboot, was determined to change the landscape, proving not only that a fully computer-generated series could be created, but also thrive in primetime television. Ian Pearson was no stranger
Bro, look at this setup. The big chunky CRT TV, big chunky CRT monitor. It's the white and gray keyboard. That's probably like a mouse with a ball in it somewhere, wherever the mouse is. Oh my god. And everyone's like all clustered around like a single screen. Oh man, this was so good back in the day, dude. It's cuz like conversely now it's like everyone is just isolated by themselves at their own home, just waiting to queue up a show or like a game or something like that for multiplayer or whatnot. But like back in the day, if you wanted to like play with people, you had to go out and find people to go corral around a single monitor and go corral or go find other people that had similar interests. Like you had to physically find them. Whereas now you just go download a game and just queue. It's like, god damn it, like I can't help it but say that like World of Warcraft came into this problem first with Wrath of the Lich King, like looking for group finder, where you could just sit in town and just queue dungeons, or not look for group, look for dungeon finder, and there was no reason to go out in the world anymore. So, and it's just like, well, WoW did it first. and they solved the problem. Well, they didn't solve a problem; they created the problem, and like it's just life is catching up with what WoW already has dealt with.
To CG animation, and in the 1980s, Pearson and his co-creator Gavin Blair gave audiences one of its first glimpses into what fully computer-generated characters could look like in the Dire Straits hit music video Money for Nothing. While the music video showcased the potential of computer-generated characters, the technology needed to create a full-length computer-animated series simply wasn't there yet. And by Pearson's own admission, his earlier attempts ended up looking more like extended video games. But as the years passed with technology advancing rapidly, he felt the time had finally come to pursue his vision of producing a full-length animated series. A bold idea in an industry where it remained largely untested. At the time, big-budget films like Jurassic Park and The Lion King had started to incorporate 3D animation, but the costs were astronomical, and even brief scenes demanded countless hours.
Bro, I had no idea there was 3D animation in The Lion King. That's crazy.
Of labor. For example, the iconic stampede scene in The Lion King, which lasted only around 3 minutes, took over 3 years to complete. Given the staggering costs and technological demands, most studios were understandably hesitant, and Pearson...
I mean, however long it took, that's a good-ass scene, though. Like, come on, like, everybody on the Disney hate train right now, but, like, you know, respect for back in the day. All those old-ass cartoons and shit, they're the ones that started it, and they were good for a reason.
And his team recognized that before pitching their vision, they had to first demonstrate that it was even possible to create such a show within the confines of a television budget. With the cost of the necessary computer equipment being so expensive at the time, Pearson couldn't afford to buy the technology outright and instead had to borrow computers to create a 2-minute demonstration. The proof of concept was funded by Limelight Productions, a company that soon after filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Some speculate that the steep costs of producing the Reboot demo may have played a role in its downfall. The demo eventually found its way into the hands of ABC Studios. While many were reluctant to invest in a project of this scale, Jenny Trias, president of ABC Children's Entertainment, embraced the challenge, stating, "Someone's got to start it, someone's got to take that risk." The first season of Reboot consisted of 13 episodes and reportedly cost the studio a staggering $10 million to produce. While this may not seem like much by today's standards, with modern animated series like The Clone Wars costing $1 million per episode...
Holy shit, I didn't know that it was $1 million an episode for Clone Wars. Holy!
And top voice actors earning up to $400,000 per show. Back in the early 90s, it was more than double the budget of any other animated series on the air.
It's kind of funny because like this was the norm back then. You know, some white dude voicing Apu, like the convenience store clerk. And I don't know if he's still doing it just because like whatever, but like the environment that we're in right now is just so crazy to think that there would be any issue with like some white dude voicing like an Indian dude, because now conventionally, well, not conventionally, but like everybody would be up in arms. I wonder if this person actually has like any I forgot his name. I wonder if he's came at like into any backlash of voicing Apu from The Simpsons. 100% he has to have. It's like, oh, your voice is too stereotypical and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like, bro, the character's been around for like 15, 20 plus years. This is Apu. This, like, you're not going to change the voice of Apu like 20, 25 years in. That's not happening. It's going to be the same voice actor.
Bringing Reboot to life was no small feat. The groundbreaking technology demanded data processing and rendering on a scale never before attempted, leading to countless technical setbacks. In fact, during the first year alone, the team endured over 17,000 system crashes. The creators worked around the clock, even out of cramped hotel rooms, before they secured proper office space. And all the hard work and struggles proved to be worthwhile, as when the episode finally aired, the response was overwhelmingly positive. The show graced the cover of numerous magazines, earned widespread praise from TV critics. Its popularity even led to the creation of a line of action figures.
Oh, man. Did I have any of this? Bob, that was his name, with the silver hair. Wasn't this like the husband, wife, and then the son? I'm trying to remember like the gist of the show. Because if you look at just the characters by themselves, they look so like zany. Megabyte and hexadecimal.
Fast forward, Reboot's on!
Oh my god, I remember that.
Mainframe is mine.
Oh my. Spice, we need your help! Enzo, your zip board.
The early buzz and glowing reviews validated the groundbreaking work that had gone into bringing the show to life, at least initially. While things appeared to be going well on the surface, a more sinister conflict was unfolding behind closed doors. Frustrations were quietly mounting as the creators found themselves locked in a relentless battle with the Broadcast Standards and Practices Committee. With the intent of making Reboot appropriate for kids, the Broadcast Standards and Practices Committee would implement a number of changes to scripts and character designs. While many of their demands were standard for any animated show geared toward a younger demographic, some decisions veered into the absurd. The main female character on the show was named Dot, and the creators of the show originally designed her to have an anatomically correct appearance. While
There is nothing. I don't see anything wrong with this. This is like. There's nothing revealing. Oh, what? She's showing her shoulders. Oh my god. Oh, like, ugh. She's got like a. I don't know if this is like a sleeve or it's just like a robot arm. Like, this is fine to me. There is nothing offensive about this.
her original design was modest by today's standards and arguably even those of the 90s, the Broadcast Standards and Practices felt differently. They deemed her to be too sexualized. As a result, the animators were forced to simplify her anatomy.
Censored version, the mono breast original version, the two breastises. Jesus, this is happening in the 90s? This is so, like, way ahead of its time in terms of, like, culture wars. Like, her face is about this. Oh my, wait a sec. This face is a little more narrow. This one is a little more wide. She got, like, the wide chin. She got, like, the man jaw. Okay, I could kind of see it now. It's really, like, just the chin. The wide chin, wide jaw. Her cheeks, her nose, like her nose is like about the same. Maybe this one's like a little bit like, I don't know, more mannish. I don't know how to describe it. Like she got some like, I think her torso is like a little bit wider. Her legs, like her lower body's about the same, more or less. But it's just like little slight things that just made her more mannish and like no two boobs. You can only have one boob. The mono boob. To think, like as a little kid, I didn't pay any attention to this. This was like way over my head. But to think that, but even in the 90s, we were already having culture wars of like what's appropriate for kids. I mean, isn't this like some blue cyber camouflage?
Reducing her chest to a single unrealistic blob, which the creators would later humorously refer to as a monobreast. What made this even worse was that the villain on the show,
oh, but the villain can have two boobs,
hexadecimal, was allowed to keep her curves and remain anatomically correct. This
oh yeah, this is a way more womanly figure than like the I don't know what Dot was. Was Dot like the wife of like the main character, or the not the wife, husband, wife, son? So the main character would be the son. So the mother of the main character. But the evil lady has to be the sexualized lady.
This created an unspoken divide in the show. Villains could appear bold and sexualized, while heroes like Dot had to
Yeah, because sex is evil.
Be more conservative and restrained. While these measures were a bit drastic, it was still feasible to see where the censors were coming from in this instance. But this was only the tipping point of the story of censorship, and from here, things really start to get, well, strange. The show's creators were handed a list of banned words and phrases,
Like
many
what?
of which made sense for a children's program. But there was one word on the list that stood out, and not in a way anyone expected. The word was hockey. The censors never fully explained why hockey was forbidden. Some speculated that in certain countries it might have had inappropriate connotations, while others believed it was due to the sport's violent nature. In the end,
Hockey hockey. Hockey is just like way out of left field. Like, why is that censored? Did somebody that is like in charge of censorship just have a bad experience with hockey, and they don't want to have anything to do with the sport hockey anymore?
And the band raised more questions than answers. In another episode called Talent Night, there was a scene where the character Dot gave her brother Enzo a kiss on the cheek. Innocent enough, or was it? It turns out the censors were fearful this could promote familial relations and cut the scene from the episode.
What? You don't. What did he say? Kiss the brother on the cheek?
On the cheek. Innocent enough.
It was on the cheek. Because familial relations, obviously, in every case, leads to incest. That's what it suggests. And if you have a brother or sister, you should never touch them, never hug them, never kiss them, because that just leads to incest in every case. Like, what? Bro, that's so weird. The mental gymnastics that these people have to go through. Like, has nobody ever hugged the people that were like in charge of this like censorship? Whoever was in charge of censorship needs a hug. All right? They just need a hug or something. Bro, like, I would give my sister like hugs and like that's what like little kids do. I used to do that. I never had any incestuous moments. Like, are you kidding me?
Enough, or was it? It turns out the censors were fearful this could promote familial relations and cut the scene from the episode. Co-creator Ian Pearson would later describe this decision as one of the sickest things I've ever heard. And then there were moments when the censorship defied all logic. A good example of this was with the episode titled Bad Bob. The script was created by Dan Didio and was a parody of the Mad Max movies. Interestingly enough, one of the artists on this episode, Brendan McCarthy, would later go on to co-write Mad Max Fury Road with George Miller, and it's hard to miss the striking resemblance between some of his original work on this episode.
Oh, damn, this is actually cool as shit, dude. This is like the early days before Mad Max. Like, that's awesome.
Between some of
this is like the dude's face on the big tank truck, spikes, and that's badass.
His original work on this episode and the iconic visuals in
like, look at this.
Fury Road. When the script for Bad Bob was first submitted, the response was blunt. Show completely rejected. No explanation was given. Frustrated and likely exhausted at this point, the creators decided...
Yeah, because like spikes and post-apocalyptic cars are just too traumatic for little kids.
To resubmit the script again. This time, to their surprise, it was completely approved. What did they change the second time around, you might ask? Not a single thing. As the censorship grew more absurd, the creators' patience wore thin, and they started to fight back in some of the sneakiest ways possible. In an episode titled Web World Wars, the final episode that aired on...
Bro, that's so funny that they submitted the show. First time, got rejected. Second time, didn't change a damn thing. Okay. Bro. That is so funny.
On ABC before the show was canceled on their network, there's a memorable line where a character yells,
"It's the ABCs! They've turned on us! Treacherous dogs!"
These were meant to refer to
treacherous dogs?
Armored binome carriers, the name given to Megabyte's tanks on the show. It was easy to see what the creators were really trying to say there. In another episode, it was...
Oh, wait. Did the show first air on ABC? And armored by... Okay, so, like, they're just shitting on the network. It's the ABCs coming after us. Okay, that's pretty funny.
Stated that the creators slipped a hidden message aimed at the broadcast standards and practices. A string of binary codes subtly woven into the city skyline flashed on screen.
Good.
Those who decoded it revealed that it translated to a rather specific message.
Fuck you, broadcast standard. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's awesome. I love that shit, dude.
When it came to non TV licensing, on the other hand, the creators enjoyed a bit more freedom. A PlayStation game was released with notably more violence and bolder themes. Trading cards depicted Dot with a more realistic figure and considerably more skin.
And even this, it's like, it's not so much the outfit, it's like the posing that is really feminine. A body copy. That's the name of the card, body copy. And this is like, she still got no ass right here, dude. Like, what are we talking about? And this one, bombshell, is like a long sleeve shirt and like a skirt. That's like pretty up there. But think about it. This character doesn't exist. This is a fake character. This is not a real person. All right. Why are you being offended by pixels?
Showing, and to top it off, an exclusive website wallpaper featured Bob playing hockey, which was clearly a direct jab to.
Oh, good. This is so funny. Hey, remember that word you banned? Yeah, we're just gonna make some art or some traded cards, whatever, and he's gonna be playing hockey.
The censors. During the production of Season 2, despite positive reviews, the creators learned that the show would likely be cancelled in the US, and with nothing left to lose, began making the show they had always envisioned. As the season progressed, the tone became much darker and more serious. The second half of the season even introduced a multi-episode story arc, something ABC had previously forbidden, as they didn't allow cliffhangers, fearing it would create traumatic tension for young viewers. Season 3 marked the first time the creators...
Really? Kids can't handle cliffhangers because it's too traumatic? Okay, so I need evidence of why they think that is. You can't just go off and say that. I need to know why. I don't care what you think. I want to know why you think it. So I would love to hear from the censors why that is a thing.
Of Reboot were completely free from ABC's restrictions, allowing their true vision for the series to shine. The season featured not only a darker and more mature storyline, but also significantly...
Oh shit, I remember this. Like the little kid grew up a little bit. He got like a beard. This was when the show was getting good, dude. I remember that.
Improved animation. The series would conclude a few years later with...
Like, look at him. He got some arms on him. She.
Season 4, which took the form of 2 TV movies, Damon Rising and My Two Bobs. These films delve deep into Mainframe's history, revealing the creation of Los
My Two Bobs. My Two Boobs.
Angeles, Bob's arrival in the system, and the origins of Megabyte and Hexadecimal. In 2000...
Bro, this was peak for me, like right here.
2007, there were plans for a reboot trilogy of films, with Daniel Allen as the lead character design. Fans even got a sneak peek through a teaser trailer. Unfortunately, the project never materialized. The latest addition to the Reboot series came in 2018 with a live-action CG hybrid series distributed...
Oh, was this even good? There's no shot that this was good at all.
...distributed by Netflix. It ran for 2 seasons, but didn't quite capture the magic of the original...
Yeah. I didn't even know that thing existed. That's how successful it was.
...and was widely panned by critics and fans alike. Have you watched Reboot? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, man, I think I remember watching Reboot. Season 1 and 2, but I didn't watch it like over and over again. I just saw it like the one time and I was like, yeah, this is cool. And maybe I think I had like an action figure. I don't remember. But that second season, whenever the little kid was like grown up and shit, like that was awesome. It's kind of crazy to think that the creators got away with like little things like the little binary code in the sky and whatnot. That is so funny. But the censorship was so ridiculous back then. Like, holy shit. Even in the 90s. And everyone's like, oh, the 90s was like the Wild West. You could get away with damn near almost anything. But it was even starting to rear its head in the 90s, which was crazy. Mono boob. Oh my god. That shit is so funny, dude. But hey, that was a good ass video, dude. I mean, thank you for taking me down to memory lane for a little bit. That was very nice. I like it, enjoyed it, and I want to see more like it. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on our next one, all right? Later.